right, welcome to It's 502 Somewhere, a show where we will be talking to the people that make up the local identity and culture of the city of Louisville. I'm your host, Andrew Crum, and I am so excited to be hosting this show in partnership with the state of Louisville. And we have some really exciting guests, whether they be former athletes, whether they be musicians or entrepreneurs or members of the community. So without further ado, we're presenting our pilot episode of the show. Our first guest is going to be a man that has taken the pickleball world by storm. He is also a rapper, a tennis pro, and he happens to be my brother. And for the first episode, we will have Alex Crum. So sit back, relax, because it's 502 somewhere. For my first episode here, I'm kind of cheating a little bit, to be perfectly honest, but this is my brother, Alex Crum, and you may have seen his face on social media. I know that he's basically shared every post that he's asked to be a collaborator on.
There was one. There was
Instagram.
one that I couldn't do it, but all other 97, I accepted those collaborations. Yes.
Perfect. So you may have seen him on locally. He was on WLKY, on social media. Basically, he has taken the pickleball world by storm. So, Alex, first of all, how are you doing today?
Fancy seeing you here, little bro. But I'm doing quite well, all things considered. Been a very hectic 2 weeks for me, but I am doing very well. I'm in East Hampton right now. I have a dinner reservation at the American Hotel later tonight. Healthy, all those things. So I'm doing very well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, like you said, it's been a very up and down last 2 weeks for the Crum family, especially with me before that and with Derby Week, because a little background on me. I work for a nonprofit on the backside of Churchill Downs. So basically the 2 months leading up to Derby were crazy, but I'm so excited to be having you on the show. First and foremost, just want to, if you could tell us a little bit about your background, how you kind of got started in the world of sports in both tennis and pickleball.
Sure. So, I grew up primarily, as you know, in Louisville, Kentucky. We did move to Chicago when I was about, 7, and then we moved back, I think, when I was 12, so about 5 years in Chicago. Started playing tennis in Chicago, and then really just started competing frequently. When we moved back to Louisville, I was a top junior tennis player, top 2 or 3 in the state of Kentucky, top 10 in the southern section, which comprises of all the southern states you could think of. Played high school tennis at St. X, won a couple state championships there. I played for 1 year at University of Dayton, and then I had a wrist injury that kind of sidelined me from tennis for the last 7 years. Aside from that, I've been a diehard Louisville fan for my entire life, and I feel like I've passed that on to you a little bit. We have had many of rides, as we call them, where we some have ended in glory, some have ended in pure and utter depression. We won't talk about our trip to Tallahassee on this episode.
We should have won that game. You almost you were handed a certain card that we cannot repeat on this show. Florida State fans were not the friendliest.
The friendliest. And we were on TV, though. We were on ESPN that day.
We were on TV.
But yeah, I've been a diehard Louisville fan my whole life. I eat, sleep, breathe Louisville sports. So just a diehard sports fan in general.
So, and I don't even know if I introduced you as you are a professional pickleball player or have been for the last 2 years. So tell us a little bit how you got into that and kind of the moment when you realize, like, okay, I'm not just pretty good at this, I can take this professionally.
Yeah, I think as a tennis player, right, you have an inherent level of skill. It doesn't always translate for high-level tennis players to being high-level pickleball players, but anyone who's played tennis can immediately jump in and be good. There is a huge difference between being good and then being a high-level professional. So, I started competing professionally not this past fall, but before that, so I guess 2023. And I think it was my third tournament where I beat, a couple of really well-established pros in singles. And I think that was sort of the moment where I was like, all right, like I've barely been playing. These guys have been training for years and I'm able to compete and hang with them right away. So that was really the moment for me. And then obviously the last 2 weeks, beating the number 1 ranked player on both the PPA Tour and the APP Tour sort of solidifies, my spot somewhere in this realm, right? To where.
Yeah. And I was going to say, leading into that, this past 2 weeks in the PPA Atlanta Slam, Is that
Correct.
the name of the tournament? Is when you took down number one player. I can't. So it's Federico. I know is the number one player in the world, and then you also beat the
Federico Staksrud is the number one singles player in the world on the PPA tour, which is the
yeah,
bigger probably of the two tours.
and then you've also beaten the number five ranked player in the world in Chris Hayworth. So I know a lot has come with that, just with people reaching out to you. And so tell us a little bit about the last couple of weeks and kind of how you've been able to navigate all this craziness.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how well I've navigated it, to be honest. As you well know, I'm a very free thinking, free flowing, free speaking person, and I never say anything malicious or anything like that. But having a platform is something that's super new to me. So just trying to be mindful and intentional with my thoughts and actions is something that I'm currently working on. Obviously, I've had lots of companies reach out, whether that be for brand deals or this, that, and the third. So just trying to keep all options open and more so going forward, like preparing to actually put in the work on the pickleball court to solidify myself as one of the best players in the world rather than just being a flash in the pan.
Absolutely. And, you know, what does the future look like for you in the world of pickleball? What do you think that you bring that's different than what other players are having to offer?
Right. I mean, I think I can be a great ambassador for the sport, like whether that's doing social media or doing content, or bringing, outside entities into pickleball. I think pickleball is a very tight knit community, which is something that's so special about it. However, if you ever want the sport to grow and turn into like a really, truly legitimate money making professional enterprise, you need to bring in people from outside of the pickleball world. And I think my experience as a tennis coach and just some of the friendships and relationships that I've built throughout the years position me well to bring in a lot of outside forces into the world of pickleball, which is ultimately what we need in order for it to succeed.
Yeah, and I know you've given a lot of hot takes about pickleball, whether it's the people that play pickleball and have PB in their Instagram
Get rid
handle.
of it.
Getting rid of it. And then do you have, I think I have my hot take, which is, I think the name I think at this point you kind of have to stick with the name pickleball just because it's already gained so much traction. I do think the name itself is a goofy name for a sport, but I know that people probably have different opinions on that.
Well, no, I think that ship has sailed. Yeah, I mean, pickleball, there's really, some people say it was named after a dog named Mr. Pickles. Some people say, that the guy who started playing, he ate pickles for lunch every day. Nobody really has come to a consensus on why it's called pickleball, but to your point, it may be goofy, but I think that ship has left the harbor, my friend.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the ship has sailed on that. Not only are you top 50 in the world in pickleball, you're also, the number one player probably in the region, probably in, from the city of Louisville, from the state of Kentucky. And, I mean, there's people, I know a lot of your friends, even my friends have been having watch parties for, the APP, the singles championship that you were in on Saturday, as well as just me trying to find the link and just when I'm off work for 30 minutes trying to catch as much pickleball as I can. What does it mean to you to have that local family support here in Louisville?
Yeah, it means everything, and I think that ultimately that is what makes Louisville so special. Is we really rally behind our own. I mean, you've seen it in the past with Justin Thomas and Jack, and there's plenty of others. It's like there's really truly like 1 degree of separation in Louisville. Everyone feels somewhat connected to each other. And so having my friends and even, people that I'm not that close with anymore, sending me screenshots of them watching the match. I mean, it really does mean a lot to me. And again, I think that's something that makes Louisville different than other cities, is that we really believe in our people and think we have something special here. And so when one of us goes out and has success, we're genuinely happy for that person. So I've felt it over the years watching other people from Louisville succeed, and it's nice to have other people feel that from me now.
Yeah. In addition to pickleball, you are also, we have shared a common love of making music. So you're a musician. AC Baby's Just for Fun album on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, etc. Tell us a little bit about, maybe what type of music you make and, what you love most about the music making process.
Yeah, I mean, I've been rapping, as have you, for those listening,
Yeah,
for
I don't know.
probably
I don't know if
both of
anybody.
Yeah,
I don't know if
nobody
anybody
knows that.
knows that about me.
Cat's out of the bag. He's a stud. For probably 20 plus years. I started when I was around 10, and I know the same for you. I think how I would describe my music now would be sort of contemporary pop rap. I mean, I think sonically, the way that I rap and like sort of the sound of my voice sounds similar to Eminem. People say that all the time. I'm not saying I'm as good as Eminem, but I think that's sort of where I take a lot of my influence. I think the most rewarding thing for me about making a music ultimately is taking an idea from your head and making it something physical, right? So like taking an idea, taking a melody, taking lyrics, and like when you first hear that finished product for the first time, it's just there's a seriously rewarding feeling there. So for me, that's it. And I hope in the future that you and I are able to record our long-awaited EP called Family Ties, which has been in the works for many years.
Let the record show we had the name Family Ties before Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem used it, so we might have some hoops to jump across there. But we'll see.
I'll get my
goes.
Legal team on it. They're dealing with enough right now.
And that kind of answers my next questions of, do you foresee yourself making more music in the future? I know you're planning on recording some music this summer. Is it kind of like a therapeutic thing too for you, especially, when you're on the court every day, whether when you're teaching tennis and playing pickleball? I would assume it's definitely very therapeutic.
Yeah, I think I want to always be involved in music in some capacity. I mean, there have been stretches in my life where I've sort of gotten away from it, and then every time I come back, I'm happy that I did. I think it's kind of the duality of man, right? I think there's the physical, and then there is the creative, and I love both of them equally, but I think that if I'm able to balance them out and be creative and physical at the same time, I think it brings about sort of the best in me when I'm doing both. So yes, definitely going forward. I don't know how that's going to look, to be honest, but I will continue making music for sure.
Absolutely. I also didn't refer to you by your other nickname, which is Pickleball Paul. Album soon coming out, the rise and fall of Pickleball Paul. We're telegraphing the fall already.
Yeah, it's tough to know if we're in the rise or the fall. It feels like the rise right now, but there have been moments that it's felt like the fall here. Pickleball Paul. Now, I guess there's a caller on KSR who refers to himself as Pickleball Paul. Let it be known that I've been calling myself Pickleball Paul ever since I first touched a paddle. So I'm willing to play Pickleball Paul in a pickleball match with a 10-0 handicap, first to 11. And if he beats me, I will rescind my claim for the Pickleball Paul name. If he doesn't, he must never refer to himself as Pickleball Paul ever again, especially because he's a Kentucky fan.
Oh yeah, we'll need to clip that and let them know the offer is on the table.
The offer is on the table. Pickleball Paul. I'll meet you at Tom Sawyer Park.
The biggest moment in the rivalry this year is it the U of L or the UK fans who can claim Pickleball Paul?
Who is the true Pickleball Paul? I love it.
So in addition to everything you've already talked about, you are a renowned traveler. You lived in Germany for a little bit. You play in tournaments around the country. I visited you at Newport Beach in California. You teach in Jupiter Island, Florida, but your home base is still here, Louisville, Kentucky. What sets the city of Louisville apart from everywhere else you've been?
For me, it's the people, right? Like, when you travel abroad or travel throughout the country, like when you meet somebody from Louisville out at a bar or at a game or whatever, there's that instant connection of like, you're from Louisville? And every time I have that experience, it just brings me great joy because for me, I mean, of course, there's great restaurants in history and Churchill Downs and the bourbon scene and, the Papa John's and everything else that makes Louisville great. But when it comes down to it, for me, it's just the quality of the people. I think we have some of the kindest, most considerate people, and going back to your point, like people in Louisville love sports. If you go and you look at the Nielsen ratings every year, people in Louisville watch more sports than anywhere else in the country, and that's just a fact. So for me, it comes down to just the people.
Yeah, and I've also, for me, with the city of Louisville, I've been able to, because I've been doing a series with State of Louisville called 4 Finds of the Week, where I've been able to just go to a lot of new places that I've never been, and I've been able to uncover some of those gems that I'd never heard about. I think Louisville also just has such a unique culture and vibe that it brings in comparison to other cities. So
100%.
That would be my kind of vibe. All right, so I have 1 or 2 final questions, and then we'll go into, I don't know what this segment is going to be called, kind of a rapid fire, quick fire. We could if we get a sponsor, we can figure a name.
Something like down the backstretch or something like, like
Oh, like the
Anyway,
final
yeah,
two
like the
coming
final
around the
stretch.
turn or
Yeah,
something.
around the turn.
Yeah, the final stretch. I like that. So you're going to be playing pickleball and teaching a little bit throughout the summer before you go to Jupiter Island in around October. It's kind of when you go, or November.
Yeah, and I'm gonna rent my own place down there, but relatively normally I go down there around November 1st. I'll go back to South Florida.
So, what do you look forward to? And I know you've already thrown ideas at me. What do you look forward to getting into this summer in Louisville and the early fall?
Well, I can't wait to go to the Louisville Zoo. I'll tell you that. I had this thing going into this summer because I was going to be back in Louisville quite a bit at our parents' house, because why would I pay for rent if I'm not going to be there for very long? Just kind of like trying to do things that remind me of my childhood. So I want to go to like Seneca Park and play basketball. I want to go to like Holiday World in Indiana. I want to go see local musicians play, at Rec Bar or, Zanzibar. Like, I just want to do all those things. I want to immerse myself in Louisville because I realize that, like, as this progresses and everything else, I might not have that much opportunity to spend a summer in Louisville. So really just doing things in the city that connect me to my childhood 100%.
Absolutely. And I've also been trying to go to more music festivals. Unfortunately, I missed Poor Castle this year. Poor Castle is always, there's some hidden gems in those lineups. I do miss, because this weekend would have been Forecastle, and I know that
sad.
hasn't happened since 2022. I know Jack had the Gazebo Fest last year, but one of the days got rained out. So hopefully something like that can happen during Memorial Day weekend again, because I think that was just such a great, and the weather this weekend in Louisville was pretty perfect. So I'm hoping. I know Abbey Wood on the river. That was not Abbey Wood. What am I? Abbey Road.
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road. The Beatles. Whether they have all the Beatles cover bands. So that was something I definitely want to try out sometime soon. Okay, so we're gonna, whatever this segment is called, whether it's down the back stretch,
around the far turn they come, something like that. All right.
Yeah, around the far turn they crumb. We got it. All right. Okay, here we go. First question: best pizza in Louisville?
The Post.
I'd probably be Danny Max. Dream celebrity pickleball partner?
I have a girlfriend, so I'm gonna say Harlow.
Jack Harlow. What would he bring to the game, you think?
Yeah, he's tall, he's lanky. I think that he would have really good reach in the kitchen, right? So you have to stand at the kitchen line in pickleball. You can't reach in. Jackman's about 6'4", so he'd be able to reach in there. Probably got a good backhand flick. I think he and I would be a great partner.
Absolutely. You're a big Universal guy, and I know you haven't been to Epic Universe yet, the new park that just opened up. So best ride at Universal Studios?
Haggard's motorbike ride.
That'd probably be mine too.
The Mummy is number 2.
But Velocicoaster not on there?
Nope.
What is your hottest take about the city of Louisville? And it could be anything. It could be sports related. It could be just the city related. It could be anything.
That we open up too many new restaurants.
Okay.
Like, here's the thing about that. Like, Louisville is a fairly small city, and I just feel like there are so many restaurants that, like, I just hate seeing them open and close. It's like, what's the lifespan on these joints? You know what I mean? Like, there's always something new popping up, and yeah, that's my hot take. Too many.
Another question. This is kind of back on what we already talked about. If you could change the name of the sport of pickleball, what would you change it to?
Paddle nuts.
Okay. Paddle nuts is here to stay. Okay.
Or maybe battle ball.
Battle ball?
Yeah, battle
cool.
Ball. Not paddle nuts, battle ball.
I was trying to think of where the mind was going there. Yeah. Okay. A few more. So if you had a Mount Rushmore of Louisville athletes that you have followed along in your life, who would be, so in those top 4?
Are we talking like football, basketball, or
everything?
Everything of athletes?
Yeah. Or maybe U of L. We'll keep it to U of L athletes.
Like, does Justin Thomas count or no?
We'll let him count.
All right, so you have to put Justin Thomas in there. JT's the man and a multi-time major champion. Do they have to be from Louisville?
No, we could say from Louisville or played at Louisville.
All right, Justin Thomas, okay. Lamar, okay. Donovan Mitchell.
I mean, Teddy is on mine.
Yeah, and Teddy's my 4th, 100%. I just love Teddy. Would be everybody.
Yeah, I feel like I would have to put both Teddy and Lamar on there for me, because I feel like without Teddy, do we go to the ACC? Do we get Lamar Jackson?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Lamar, obviously. I probably throw
generic,
Siva.
But you could put Peyton on there, yeah. You could.
Or maybe Russ, throw in Luke Hancock. He can get
Vector
cards in
Smith.
there somewhere.
Yeah.
A couple more. Record prediction for U of L football this year.
How many games do we play?
12.
12-0.
12-0?
I didn't
And
blink.
13.
12-0.
So then if we were to win the college football playoff, I think that would make us 16-0.
16-0.
16-0. All right, book it. You heard it here first from AC Baby. And then final question. If the city of Louisville was given a pickleball team, what should its name be? Because I know they have teams in like the Major League Pickleball.
Yeah. It's something with, what do they call the bourbon bottlers? What's the term for that?
Distiller, maybe?
No.
That's not.
There's something what they call the people who bottle bourbon, and that is what I would put it on. So,
all right, we will look that up.
I think it's the masher. Like the bats.
Mashers.
Yes.
Bats
that would
have
be it.
their.
That's the thing. The bats, like that, they have their alternate thing is the Louisville Mashers. I like that, the Louisville Mashers.
Yeah, and we'd already have a logo, so
yeah, we already have a logo. Yeah, it's like the little baseball bat, but he has like you could easily make that a pickleball, and he's like with a bourbon barrel. That's it, Louisville Mashers.
Absolutely. All right, so that is the end of that first segment of around the far turn they Crum, or Crum's corner. We will figure out
Crum's corner. Actually, I like that.
Crum's corner would be good.
Shout out Kern's corner.
Shout out Kern's corner. We love Kern's. All right, so Alex, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for joining this podcast or this series today. Just because I know you've a lot of people reaching out to you. You know, you were at Barstool one day. You started your own podcast, Cracked Paddles. We can market that here.
Cracked Paddles. Yep. Download, subscribe anywhere you can listen. It's it's more of an introspective look into the professional pickleball world and just the pickleball world in general, if you have any interest. Well, I want to say thank you to Andrew. It's been a rough couple of days for the Crum family, trending upwards now. I don't know if we need to touch on it, but hug your loved ones, lead with kindness and empathy, because, again, nothing is promised in life. So love you, bro. Thanks for having me on, and, good job.
Thank you. And a great job for you as well. And, yeah, it's been a rough couple of days, rough couple of weeks. But just want to say thank you so much again for joining us. And, hopefully maybe when you're back in town, maybe we could do like a one-on-one brother versus brother pickleball match. I don't think that would go very well.
I like your chances. I like your chances more in a rap battle, kid.
I think we can maybe have some constraints of like maybe you play pickleball with one hand, like you have to play with like your lefty, less dominant hand. So you'll have to play lefty. We might throw a blindfold in there. We might make it to where you have to eat like 10 slices of pizza.
That would make me better. I would play better if that was the case. Or I'll play with like a wand or something.
Perfect. Well, anyway, Alex, thank you so much again. And good luck with all your endeavors, whether it's on the court or off. Thank you so much again.
Thanks, Nuke. See you in a couple days, bud.
Yeah.
Arrivederci.